Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Story? This is GR, and I am joined by my co-host, Miss Lexi. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Excited to talk about this film that you picked for this week that I never seen before. Titles below. Before I continue, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share us with all your friends because we have a lot coming your way, and we have an announcement about this show in a few minutes. But yeah, let everybody know what exactly are we going to talk about, even though it's right there.
So yes, this is Dead Silence, a 2007 film by James Wan, directed by him. So the overview for this movie basically is a ventriloquist type of movie, as you can see. So I'm going to try to put a little piece of the movie to myself. I like dressing in characters. That's why I do it. And hopefully everybody will catch on. But the overview is Jaime Ashen, who comes from Ravens Fair. Did they specify the state? I was looking or listening.
I think Ohio. I'm almost sure Ohio. I think it was Ohio.
I know the town was Ravens Fair, but after his wife meets a grisly end, Jaime returns to the creepy hometown Ravens Fair to unravel a mystery of the murder of his wife. Once he's there, he discovers the legend of Mary Shaw, a murder ventriloquist whose eerie presence still looms over the town. He desperately digs for answers and encounters the curse of the ventriloquist that takes his wife's life. So interesting sound. Like, I keep picking weird curses, like Curse of a Mirror, Curse of now Billy, who is the ventriloquist. So yeah. So what were your first impressions of this movie? I'm so curious to know.
I didn't know what to expect. Being it's 2007, like, you look at older movies differently now, but what I like is right in the beginning they gave you a definition about that. Back in the 6th century, it was believed that the dead would talk through the stomach region of the living, and then they give you the whole how venter is Latin for belly, and Loki is Latin for to speak, and then it's ventriloquist. But I like that they did that because they started roping you in. And for me, I am always big on opening sequences in a movie. So the fact that you have your first glance of Mary Shaw without knowing it's Mary Shaw yet, and how she's sitting there, writing, drawing, drafting, designing all these basically doll. And the one that eventually shows up is the doll, which I'll talk about later, Billy. But like the first 12 minutes of this film are actually really good with the opening sequence, and like you were saying, the death of the wife, which the fact that you kill off the wife that early in the movie is kind of messed up, but at the same time,
you know what, I'm kind of glad, and I'll say why.
But it was it was kind of a shocker too. But the fact that, like you were saying, how there is more to the story, and the fact that somebody dropped off this ventriloquist in front of his apartment, it adds the intrigue. So they did everything possible to draw you in as much as they can within the first 12 minutes of the film. And once the whole Mary Shaw character comes into play, it's definitely pretty good. I mean, I know you watched it. I mean, rewatching it again, what would you think?
Well, as a child, you think I thought it was awesome. It was one of my favorites out of like all the doll type of movies. Robert, Chucky. I don't think Annabelle existed yet. I don't know, but Billy just stood out to me because he had the best story out of all the dolls. Although the other two are really good. But then, like I said, the movie got lost for so long, and I couldn't find it. And then finding it, I was like, oh my God, we have to do this for What's Your Story, because there's a great plot twist, and we'll get into that. But that is the reason why I chose this to review with you. But my first impressions, rewatching it as an adult, a few things bother me now as an adult, but I still love it the same as I did as a kid.
No,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just love it as I did as a kid. It's a great movie, has a great story, which we're going to dive into. The Mary Shaw legend, it's pretty badass. And I feel like you don't expect the ending. So it was a good twist, and we'll get into that. But yeah, overall, we'll give our overall at the end, but great first impressions for me.
Now, the big thing about this movie is the Mary Shaw character, which, like, they show the glimpses in the beginning real quick, and then once you start diving into what happened and who's Mary Shaw, I mean, what did you think of the legend of Mary Shaw, and did it fit well with the movie?
So yeah, the Mary Shaw legend is awesome because, like you said in the beginning, you see her drafting, drawing, designing, but you then further go deeper into her story about how she's obsessed with making these dolls. She has 101 of them. I'm one of them. Creepy. But you can see all the dolls behind you in your background. Like, that whole scene is just so badass, in how they discover it. But the legend of they kind of hint and say that she wants to her wish with the Henry Walker, the morgue guy. Her wish was to become the doll, or that was her last wish, so that she could keep living, basically. And so I liked that part of the legend, but I also, the sad part was, Michael Ashen, which is Jaime Ashen's great uncle, who goes missing, and then we'll get to that ending part. But the way he's found, the legend continues, as you can see. Yeah. So, yeah. What did you think about the legend?
Well, I kind of like the whole backstory of it, and the fact that after Lisa gets killed, he goes back home and he talks to his father, which we'll talk about that scene later on. And he was like, and when he walks in, his new stepmom is there. I think it was his third.
Yeah, from the portraits. First wife is gone out of the portrait. Second wife is gone, and she's in there. Yes. Just so happens to be.
Yeah, he asked his dad, Dad, what was that poem that Mom used to read to me at bedtime? And it was, beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. If you see her in your dreams, be sure to never scream. I mean, that there kind of remind me of like the Candyman type,
Right. And that's what I was talking about. The legend still goes. They're still saying this poem, and she's actually living the poem, because she comes out at certain points, and you see Jaime cover his mouth, like, don't scream, whatever you do, don't scream.
Yeah, like the legend goes, she was a ventriloquist, and one of the great scenes in the film is where she's doing a show with Billy, and one of the kids says, "Oh, I see you moving your lips."
I'm sorry, Mother. I can't help it.
I can see your lips moving. What?
Who said that?
I did. I can see it. Her lips are moving.
What do you say to that, Billy? Young Michael here doesn't think you're a real person.
What do you mean, Mother?
He thinks you're a dummy, and that I'm doing your voice for you.
Which causes a reaction from her and Billy. And then that kid ends up going missing. So then when the Michael Ashen kid goes missing, it turns out, which we'll talk about this later, I won't say who it is yet, but she was the prime suspect. She was basically, they cut out her tongue. She was killed, and like you said, in her, in her will, when one of the things in her will was, one, she wanted to be buried with her 101 children, aka dummies, which are behind me, and the fact that like you said, she wanted the mortician to turn her into a doll as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you still get the sense of this town, because Henry is like, we don't say her name here. We cannot say her name here. And the fact that we'll learn later on who exactly are these 101, because Mary's very pissed off at this town for what they did to her.
I mean, look at the town. He driving in, it's like, it reminded me like the end of the world or something.
Yeah.
Oh, they must be in that much of fear of this woman. She is pretty creepy. Every scene she comes in, she kind of gives me the creeps. I was a little scared.
Well, even in the beginning, after Lisa was killed, and Jaime goes home and he sees a trail of blood, and he goes, "Oh, this is not funny, Lisa." And then you kind of hear Mary, mimicking Lisa, and then that's where you find Lisa in the bed with her. The kill scene when she would take people's tongues was pretty cool, because it was quick, and then the drag is like, bam, one shot, your tongue's gone, your mouth's like
swipe
open. Yes. Yes. I mean, it did fit very well into the whole movie, and I think they did really good teasing it at the beginning, and then letting you know a little bit more. And the fact that you have a town, which I love when horror movies do this storyline, when you have a town that's basically attached to a curse.
Right.
But yeah, definitely it was I kind of like the way the whole thing tied in.
And the whole scene, my favorite scene was the movie theater, where again the whole kid, like, that's embarrassing. I kind of feel for Mary for just a hot second, because that is embarrassing. But the whole part where then she's talking, then she's controlling Billy, and then all of a sudden they're arguing at the same time. You catch that?
Yes.
So that part, like, I was like, oh, that's the best part of the whole scene.
Forget about him, Billy. There will always be doubters.
I don't want to forget, Mother. I think we should show this boy just how real I am. I'm just as real as him.
No, I'm afraid we must go on with the show.
No, I'm as real as you are, and
Leave him
I'll show
alone,
you.
Billy.
I'll show him what it's
Listen
like,
to me,
Mother.
that's enough.
I'm as real
No
as you.
more.
Bring him up here.
Or the whole movie is the movie theater scene and her story coming out.
Yeah, was Billy told her, "I'm more real than you."
Yeah.
And that pissed her off, and then she looks at the kid and goes, "Now who's a dummy?"
Yeah. And she's creepy. Like, she really does scare me.
Excellent performance. Performance as a villain.
Yes. And that's played by Judith Ann Roberts.
Yes.
Great lady.
She did a great job with that character, because
she embraced it.
Yeah, and the thing too is the dummies, they're scary, and they get you nerve wracked, especially when they just sitting there. But what I like about this is you don't have too many movies that do this.
Mm-mm.
And the fact that they tied a dummy to a curse was perfect.
Yeah. And that's what caught my eye as a kid. I'm like, this is super different than just Chucky running around killing people, or, Robert. Like, it's all different.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different vibe when it comes to dolls. And ventriloquists, I feel like, are the scariest type of dolls.
Oh god, yeah. Especially like the ones that are all dressed up and like kid size.
Right.
That's just,
and I can't wait to talk about the dad. Yeah.
Well, let's dive in.
Yep. So what characters, what do you think about the characters? Like, which ones stood out to you the most?
I kind of like all the characters played their part well. I mean, the Jaime character, the detective, Lipton, played by Donnie Wahlberg, who for some reason likes playing cops.
I know. I was like, this is the first cop scene, and he wears that same jacket.
Yes, and then he constantly did the whole thing with the trimmer every time. But even Bob Gunton, who plays Jamie's father, Edward. I mean, every time I see this guy, I always think of Shawshank Redemption, the warden.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just a great actor, and his scenes were minimum, but they were great. Every scene he was in. As far as which one stood out for me, I mean, the guy who played Jamie is Ryan Quanten, I think is his name.
Yes.
And if you're a fan of HBO, he played Jason Stackhouse in True Blood, Suki's brother. So the minute I seen him, I was like, all right. So I think this movie came out around the time that True Blood was still going.
Okay.
Yeah. So to see him there, I was like, all right, this he's pretty cool, and I like the whole dynamic of, because he still plays almost the same character. He's almost gullible. He's driven to find out the truth, but at the same time, the relationship with his father, which ends up coming full circle at the end, was really interesting. And this was another character. Lipton. I mean, I know.
Oh yeah.
Their chemistry was great. I mean, he was annoying as crap. You have a cop who's trying to pin this case as quickly as possible to get let's be honest, to get the glory. Look, I solved this murder. Just that who's the suspect, and that cat and mouse chase. I mean, was it the scene where Jamie buried Billy?
Yeah.
And then he goes back to his hotel room, and here's Detective Lipton.
Follow me
with Billy.
And, I thought the same thing as Lipton when I first started rewatching it. I was like, if you're a main suspect, you're not supposed to leave town. And he went clear across the country. Or I don't even know really how far, but he went out of town, that's for sure. And I was like, I don't think you're supposed to do that if you're number one suspect. And he took the words right out of my mouth. So that was quite funny.
No, and then you had Jamie, trying to set the Lipton on the superstitious beliefs of Mary Shaw, which he wasn't interested at all.
At all.
I mean, what about you? What character stood out for you, and did you think the characters did well in this film? Yes.
So, I think each character stood out to me in their own individual way, but Lipton and the relationship or broship, friendship, kind of with Jamie, like they obviously disliked each other, and then they kind of work as a team near the end. But I liked their characters; they played off each other very well. But the other two that stood out to me was the father and the stepmother. And two other two, I'll get to them in a minute, but the second couple basically that stood out to me was the father and the stepmother. And we'll get into their thing near the end, but I've seen that mother before, and I can't remember which movies I've seen her in, but I felt like she's been in that type of role before, where she's that weird stepmother vibe, and she's up to something no good. But I just felt like she was too nice and too, she was just too much for me.
Yeah.
But there was a vibe about her I didn't like, even from as a child. I was like, she's weird. I wouldn't want her as my mother. She's beautiful lady, but there's something like element about her, like Lifetime killer movie about her.
Well, you thought Gold Digger?
Yes, for sure, because that too. Because she's with obviously someone 40-50 years older than she is. Yeah. And then but even when her answering the door in the very beginning of the movie, when Jamie comes back to town, oh yes, your father's upstairs, and then he's on oxygen, correct oxygen, not smoking around it like the last movie. But I can't wait to say the ending, but that scene is super, like every scene they had, you get to see it again, and it's replayed at the end of the movie.
Yes.
So yeah, I can't even say any more about them until we get to the end, because that part's exciting. But the other two, Henry Walker and Marion Walker,
yes,
they're totally important to Jamie's situation, because they're trying to help. They know he's innocent. They're trying to help him prove that he's innocent and didn't kill his wife. Real quick on the wife, I'm kind of glad she's dead. She was kind of a bad actor, and I'll rate her at the end.
Marianne?
No.
Lisa.
Lisa, the wife. Laura Reagan. Honey.
I agree with Henry Walker and Marianne. I kind of like them. Yeah, you had the guy. You had the Henry, who was the son of the mortician,
right?
And then you had that cool scene where basically he wants to see, Mary Shaw turn into a doll and goes into her casket. Right. And then you had Marianne, who was succumbing, who you later find out that was actually conversating with Mary Shaw. Mm-hmm. But that scene where she goes, it's the funeral, Lisa's funeral, and she catches up to Jaime, who's basically wandering the woods, and she says a nursery rhyme to him, and he goes, "You saw her, you saw her, you saw her," and then you gotta go, you gotta bury Billy. So she was helping, whereas Henry was avoiding as much getting involved. They didn't want him around, oh, you can't have that here when he's seen Billy. But yeah, their stories, their characters were pretty good.
Yeah, I felt bad for Marion because she was a little weird vibe. She's an elder lady, but the crawl space, like, what was that kind of about? Yeah, that part's kind of weird, but it doesn't bother me at all. I don't know, but it is weird that like they're kind of under the house, or I don't even know what they're under, but it looks like if you're on like a trailer and then you can go under the house. That's what it looked like to me. But I guess that's her little crawl space that she just kind of sits and cries in. I don't know.
Or he puts her in there.
Maybe. I never got that weird vibe from Henry.
Well, only because she's a little out there. Yeah, because Marianne was a little out there, so I don't know. I
think maybe she's lured by Mary Shaw down there. Maybe because she's talking to her.
All right, so we keep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think she's lured because and the reason I say that because then you have that scene with Henry going down there in that crawl space, and then she's down there. It has to be Mary.
All right, so we keep teasing about the ending and the what happens in the twist. So, what did you think about the twist at the end? And did you kind of expect it?
So the twist, I did not expect it, not as a kid, and that's why when I think that's the whole twist is what made me love the movie so much as a kid. And when I finally found the movie, I was like, we have to talk about it. The twist like pulls it all together, the whole story together. So you see them in the beginning of the movie where he comes back to town. And then he's in the wheelchair. She stands close behind him. But I'm just thinking, you just think she's just helping. She's being the wife, she's doing her wifely duties. And, let me take the oxygen off you. And, he's sick. But, you notice he's pale. Like, dang, this guy is dying. He's on his last years or something. He's very pale. Kind of like a ventriloquist. And so then it cuts into the dinner scene, where she's feeding him. She's doing her wifely duties, taking care of her, old husband. And, she's probably hoping he dies too to get that house. All that money. But then you come near the end where Jaime comes back to their house because they took the doll back. And then you find out the plot twist. Father is a ventriloquist and she's the perfect doll and we kind of didn't touch on the perfect doll situation because remember they go back into the theater house or whatever and they find the drawings from the beginning of the movie and she wants to be, I think Mary Shaw wanted to go into the perfect doll type of situation or make the perfect doll, but the perfect doll is the stepmother. And she's ventriloquisting the husband.
Dad. I take it I wasn't the easiest person to get along with in the past. I've changed. Jaime!
Soup. Delicious, too.
I'll vouch for that.
And the whole scene where he falls over and you see his back wide the hell open, gutted out, and then there's the stick. Awesome.
Yes.
It wasn't expected. And just rewatching it again as an adult, I was like, this is why I love the movie, because you didn't expect that. But then it replays those scenes where you meet her in the beginning and she's taking off the oxygen mask and then she's feeding him, and like every scene that they had together, like you can see now, you see why she's standing so close to him. Yeah. You thinking she's doing her wifely duties and she's trying to help. Really, she's playing, twisting that stick in the back of his, what would have been his spine.
Yeah.
Like, what was your thoughts on that plot twist?
What I like about it is they waited till almost the end of the movie to really throw it at you.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the movies have a tendency of doing it earlier, which kind of just ruins the movie. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they go into the playhouse and they find that all 101 dolls were all dug up in a grave, displayed like what rests behind me, and
I'm back there somewhere.
there's that one jigsaw clown doll that was sitting there.
Oh gosh, I hate clowns.
That one kind of threw me off. Like, hold it, where the hell? Who? Obviously, for me, the 101 are the people she killed from the town. Mm-hmm. They're all the victims, and because, like you were saying about the perfect doll, she said that you have to, in order to create a perfect doll, you have to take a little piece of everybody. Mm-hmm. And then she whispers in his ear that, oh, the last Ashton was killed. It was inside Lisa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which, so if you remember in the beginning, when she's walking around the apartment, she actually stands by the mirror and touches her belly. So that was a good, basically,
little clue.
Yes. And yeah, I did not expect the fact that Mary Shaw was inside the stepmom, because she lived through the dolls. She jumped from one doll to another. And I didn't see that coming at all. The fact that, like you said, they show every scene with the, she's with the dad, and, she's comes off as a caring wife, but the whole time she's controlling and talking. They had that one scene where she's talking, like he's like talking, she's controlling him, and you see her throat moving. Mm-hmm. But you're like, all right, I didn't expect that at all. And
you don't notice it. Me going into it a second and third time, I'm like, I see your voice. I see your voice box moving now.
Yeah, it was good though, because like I didn't expect that at all. Mm-hmm. The fact that there was a motive on top of a motive, not only did she want revenge of what was done to her, but it's still, she wanted to become this perfect doll, which she became at the end. And I feel like she is Mary Shaw as well, because the lights flicker and then you see Mary Shaw kind of glimmer through her. So I guess she's possessing all 101 dolls. Yeah. Plus Mary. Yeah. It's so insane. Such a good movie. and the one doll that looks the most realistic.
Yeah, definitely the most realistic. And the father's realistic. And the great uncle, that one kind of failed, because you saw the puppeteer. It's been sitting there for 70 years. An old case closed.
Yeah, Michael Ashton.
Yeah, so and that little snippet of the story was sad. But I understand why the family went after her. Like, you fuck with one of my family, I'm gonna probably do the same thing. So I don't blame them at all.
No. And the fact that everybody who was killed was tied to,
and it's a child of all.
Well, all the men who basically made her scream before they cut off her tongue and then killed her, they were the first to basically get her wrath. And then it was the wives, and then became all the descendants. So everybody that was tied to this one incident inherited the curse. But I think what made this movie even better, that kind of pushed it over the edge, was the fact that the villain won. She won. Yeah,
the villain does win, because I think that's why he rolls into the town when he first arrives, and it's like, where is everybody? Oh, they're all behind JR right now.
They're all under one of them.
Like, yeah, they're all that. There's your town.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the abandoned town. And now it makes all sense. Just talking out loud with you, it's like, wow, I'm discovering things in my mind, like the twist and turn and the whole pregnant part, and that's insane.
It was a lot, and to go back on one character I forgot to talk about, and it ties into everything, was Billy, because that dummy was. I'm sorry. And the minute he looked this way, I'm like, oh God, I can't stand that. That's so freaky.
Not even when he looks, you could hear the wood creak.
Well, like, the one scene behind me where they're each doll started turning one by one.
Yeah,
that was a great scene. I did not expect that, but yeah, I mean,
and even when he Lipton shoot, and then you see Mary Shaw's face through each one.
I'll be honest, I did not expect any of this, and I did not I never seen the trailer. I did not. I went into it totally fresh with no expectation, and you're probably the only person so far that's got 2 movies I never watched.
Yeah.
That's becoming a trend now. So.
Yes, now I might have to change some things.
But yeah, so I mean, sounds like we both enjoyed the movie. So let's get right into it. So what do you rate the storyline of this film?
Well, for me, it's a 5 since it was a kid. I love the movie from beginning to end. There's Easter eggs throughout the whole movie, and some you don't even see, and it's right in your face. Like especially the plot twist of the stepmother and AKA the perfect doll, Ella, and then the father, who's dead the entire movie. You don't even realize it. But the whole spinal cord thing, that just freaks me.
That's
funny. Awesome. Good touch. Great touch. The whole story, 5 for me. What do you think?
For me, I agree with you. I mean, it's gonna be my first 5. Yeah, storyline was excellent. What I like about it is every twist they gave you a little bit. They didn't really give you everything.
Not everything, yeah.
I mean, and the fact that when they did give you enough, it was just to cover for everything else that's coming. So yeah, for me, the storyline surprised me, and it was really well written. I gave it a 5. And so we like the storyline. So what about the characters? I know you got a gripe on one. So how would you create the character?
Lisa, the one that dies in the beginning. You know, I don't like when people die too fast, but I'm kind of glad. The only clone I can think of is her, is because I feel like I'm sure she's a great actress, but for this movie in particular, I don't know if it was her first one in her life or what. But I felt like she was just overdoing her part, and there was moments like when they opened the casket or to find Billy at the front door. Yeah. When they open him, the suitcase or whatever it is, she sets him up on the suitcase, sitting up, and you see for a split second she looks into the camera. So there's moments where I caught her looking, or she's overdoing her part, looking at her husband, and I'm just like, "Girl, bye, thank you, Billy." Like that's the only thing. Other than that, the whole thing's awesome. From Jaime in the beginning to Billy to all the way to Mary Shaw, perfect doll lady. It's character wise for Lisa, she good 1. But now for Lisa, I'll defend her in one part. Her story sets up the whole movie, so I'll give her maybe 1.5 for that. Her story does set up, because then it sends Jaime on this quest, and then the whole movie is like explodes with greatness. So she's 1.5. But Jaime, he's a great character. Him with Lipton, they work together. They coincide together, I feel. I would give them both a good 4, 3.5, 4. Jaime, he's a mourning husband. I like his attitude that he don't give a fuck what the police say. And I'm on that bandwagon too. But I love that he's like, he escapes, he runs off, and like I love their relationship or bromance going on, because they hate each other. He doesn't believe in the whole Lipton doesn't believe in the whole time, and then they end up figuring out a 70-year-old case with the great uncle Michael Ashton, and yeah, I like them both together, and together I feel like they're a 4. Separately, I feel like again they're a little weak separately, but they balance each other out. I like them as a duo better than separately, because when they're separate, Jaime
seems lost.
Yeah, a little bit lost, and I almost want to say he doesn't make the right decisions. Like he's at the gravesite, like when Marion said, "Don't stare at her, don't go near the grave, don't." He's making all the wrong decisions. I wouldn't do it. Limpton, like you said before, he's annoying. He's just up your alley. That's what cops do. He's doing his job, but together as a team, they were great. As far as the mother and the father, the mother, that's Mary Shaw. Okay, so Mary Shaw is basically everybody else, right?
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Besides the walkers, but Mary Shaw is basically everybody else. I'm gonna have to give that bitch a 5 because she's working everybody from the 101 dolls to herself to being the perfect doll and controlling the husband. Like,
yeah,
she's a busy bitch. What do you think about the characters?
I do agree on Lisa. I thought her reaction to everything was a little over. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. Somebody opens up a box and there's a ventriloquist. You're leaving that shit in the hallway.
Yeah,
the dummy. You're gonna leave it in you're not bringing a dummy.
That's what Jaime wanted to do.
Yeah, you're not doing that. I'm gonna give the whole cast a 4, but if I'm gonna nitpick here and there, I'm gonna say Donnie Wahlberg, man, stop playing the cop. I mean, I know it's 2007, but when I seen him, I'm like, oh, this dude's a cop again.
Yes, I know. The same jacket.
Yeah, same jacket, same.
What is he in, CSI or one of those?
CSI. He's also, I think he was in Saw. I think he played a cop in Saw as well.
Yes, he did. He's the dad.
Yeah, he plays too many cops.
Yeah. Just go be a cop, hun.
The problem I had with the Jaime character is when I recognized he was the character Jason Stackhouse in True Blood, it's the same character. It's the same person. I give more kudos to like it's Edward, the father, and the stepmom, like you were saying.
Yeah. Very
good presence. For their limited role, their presence was amazing. Henry and Marianne Walker. I love that. I'm always fascinated with people who in movies live in towns where they carry on the folklore. They carry on the story.
I was going to say, because you don't really see anybody else in the town besides these two. No. And it's because he's doing Mary Shaw's work. He's the one putting them together, basically. Yeah. Carrying on the legend.
I remember what Lipton said. He goes, I talk to people in the town. Nobody knows anything about Mary Shaw. And the fact that they don't talk about it. Only, Henry does, which was pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm going to give the whole cast a 4. I mean, the actress who played Mary Shaw, amazing though. I give her the sole 5, but yeah. All right, so now we did the storyline. Let's talk about the overall. What do you rate this movie?
It's still a 5. Yeah, from my childhood self to now, it's still a 5 for me. Just rewatching it after hunting this movie down, literally. After so long, I was so happy when it was first on Peacock. It's not anymore. I don't know why this movie keeps disappearing, but when I found it, I about cried. I was like, bro, this is my favorite movie. So I was really happy that I threw this in for us to talk about. I'm so glad that you like it. Score. So yes, overall for me is a 5 from childhood to now. I can't let go of this one. This is I'm going to add it to my movies to fall asleep to.
For me, I won't give it a 5. I'll give it a 4.5. Like I said, my big knock is fact that Jamie and Jason Stackhouse are the same people that just I couldn't let go of that. Sometimes I try to separate that.
And
Actors,
Donnie.
yeah, I just something always bothers me when it's they're the same person. Like that's why I don't like any more Adam Sandler movies. Same person. I can't watch it. I can't watch Ben Stiller. Same person.
Oh, you sound like my boyfriend. Yeah, he doesn't like none of those either.
And also, even though everybody likes him, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is the same character every film.
Yeah.
And that's my issue. I can't stand the same character every film. But
right.
I'll give it 4.5. It's still an excellent story-filled movie, which is what we look for, and which is what we right.
Hey, you gave the story a 5. I'm happy with that.
Oh, it's excellent story, and I and like I said, I'm big into storyline, also the cinematography. Everything looked good in this film. The lighting, everything worked well. Yeah,
I thought that too. I like walking up to the buildings. Like that had to have been a real building that they actually walked up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I recognized the building almost when I had to pause it. I remember pausing it on the theater. I was like, did Ghost Adventures or one of those ghost shows kind of like investigate here?
Probably.
I don't know. Probably. Because Ravens Fair, I think, is a real town, right?
I didn't look at. I gotta look into it.
Yeah, I swear I've seen Ravens Fair somewhere. I don't know. I could be lying, so ignore me if I am.
No, but yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, you have 2 movies so far that I've never seen that I watched for the first time, which is
sure.
Yeah, it's just I gotta watch more movies or something because this is.
That's how I feel when you guys tell me. That's how you see. No.
Yeah, you got any last thoughts on the film?
No, I think we've got it all covered. Definitely watch it. It's really good, and it's a shocker at the end. Like I'm still dumbfounded about the ending because you just do not expect it. You really don't.
No, you don't at all. So yeah, for me, a good film. Definitely watch it. I watched it. You said it's on Peacock. I watched it on Tubi.
It was on Peacock, and then it disappeared for I don't know, secret government reasons, and then now it's on Tubi.
Yes, Tubi, Rick's favorite channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just gotta deal with the commercials. But Tubi they have a lot of good movies there. Yeah, I mean, definitely watch it. It's a 2007 film. Excellent choice by Lexi once again. And we're on the roll so far. I think we've selected some pretty good movies so far.
Yeah, we have. So what movie are we doing next? It's your choice this time.
Yes. Let me see. Next we will be doing a very slow burn. Some people don't like it because of this, but I am a massive fan of timed pieces. So we will do The Witch with Anna Joy Taylor, who I love and for me, she's the horror queen right now. But yeah, we're gonna do The Witch. Definitely watch it. I think it's on HBO Max right now. But yes, definitely watch it. Yeah, we're gonna review that. And the other announcement we have is we are going to add 4 more episodes to this season. So it'll be 12 episodes. So after the next movie, including the next movie, we have 8 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoy what we're doing. And Lexi, she's on the roll, so she's the fourth corner.
Now I haven't seen The Witch, so we'll see.
It's a slow burn.
Oh no. Okay.
But the twist at the end is freaking awesome.
Okay.
If you don't know anything about The Witch, I'll give you a quick synopsis. It takes place during the times of, I wouldn't say the Pilgrims, I'll say the Puritans. Okay. So it's a family that's cast out, and they decide to start anew in this land, but the land is cursed, and then there's the whole lore of the witches. So back in those days during the Salem time, you could accuse anybody of being a witch. So that's basically the premise of the film. But yes, that'll be our next episode. Slow burn, so be patient with it.
Yes.
But yes. But hey, so far we've done a bunch of slow burns. This one wasn't that much of a slow burn at all. This one kind of This
It
one kind
started
of picked
with
up
the
the pace.
death.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far we're doing. I hope you guys like what we're doing so far.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got more coming your way. This is JR.
Lexi. Ventriloquist Lexi. I'm back there somewhere, I swear.
That'd be cool if we could picture which one.
That one.
Yes, but before we go, like, subscribe, share the channel.
Like,
Say we have 8 more episodes coming your way, and
Mhm.
I'm sure there'll be movies that I probably haven't seen yet, which I'm sure she's gonna search for.
I'm going to research.
And if there's a film you want us to look in that's has a great storyline, leave a comment below. We'll definitely look into it. And if you like us so much, I don't know, maybe we'll bring you on to talk about it with us.
Yep. That's
All right.
exciting.
Oh, it should be.
Until next time.
And that's her actually talking.
Or is that my spinal cord back there?
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.
Peace.